You guys are wondering how to start pinup or do the pinup competitions. Pinup Girl was basically a theatrical, playful model, we'll say. They had pinup magazines, and I don't want to compare it to like Playboy or something like that. They would send the soldiers that were, you know, deployed overseas in World War II, things like that, and they would get these magazines of the girls, and these girls basically brought an essence, a healing essence for these men, because it reminded them of something back at home because of the essence that the pinups brought in their photos. So it is more than just showing up and looking good and pretty. Now, don't get me wrong, that's part of it, but it's more about the energy of the women that they were trying to embody to bring the soldiers to get captured in these photos. You create a vibe and it makes people feel a certain way. Now, the competition side, that's more of the pinup culture, which is your like rockabilly, your classic car shows, you know, the music festivals that they have, the fashion like boutiques, or just the fashion of the era. That's more of the culture that is being brought, and that's basically where competitions are held, are at the classic car show events, rockabilly festivals. They will have pinup contests as part of the celebration, because honestly, guys, it's an icon. The number one question you guys are asking me is, how did I start pinup? Honestly, guys, I didn't go into it with the intention of starting. This thing fell in my lap. The things that we are drawn to most in our life, it's healing for us. And we may not understand it at the time, but it feels good. And at the time when pinup showed up in my life, I was going through a very rough transition of rediscovering who I was, coming out of a toxic marriage. I was at one of the lowest points in my life, and I didn't know what to do with myself. My identity was shattered. So I did what I knew best, and I got back into modeling, which I used to do promo modeling for Budweiser, and then I would do like summer league baseball teams that were trying to get into the Major League Baseball. I was a promo girl for those. This is what I highly recommend, is if you're starting, one, do it for yourself. First off, if you're wanting to do this, that's how you know, like, if it's making you feel good, if you want to build confidence, things like that. How to become a pinup model. So step number one, get in groups. Start connecting with the community. Do any kind of research online. Guys, the World Wide Web is a beautiful place to make connections. You don't have to have anything in your area if you're a small town person and you have nothing around you that has photography groups, pinup events, anything like that. You don't have to live in a place. It helps, but you can connect with people online. They even have online pinup contests, guys. So start connecting with the community online and start getting a feel for what it is, right? If you're totally new to it. So try to join Facebook groups that are like pinups. There are tons of pinup Facebook groups. And if you can't find anything on Facebook, YouTube it. There are plenty of influencers out there, even on Instagram. Connect with them, and just from that, you'll get introduced to people in the network or in the community, and you can reach out to them, even if it's a big influencer. You know, some of my favorite ones are like Pinup Palmer, but you have to put yourself out there. You can't just join these groups and not do anything. You have to connect with people. You have to go to these events if you really want to take this seriously, and just see where it goes. After you kind of do your research and attend these, you know, car shows or events, you're going to get a feeling of what era or niche of pinup that you're gonna like. Maybe you're like me and you like the classic cheesecake pinup, which is just that more theatrical, blah. Maybe, goddamn, you're just more of that theatrical, fun, flirty, kind of riding that line of like seductive, but you're not really at the same time, but you bring sort of a playful, loving essence. The most popular are going to be like your 1950s, 40s and 50s are kind of like the most popular. So the Marilyn Monroe era. So you think victory rolls, the Betty Bang. So after you find your style, your community, you're going to just want to start shooting. And what I mean by this is get photos of you dressed up as like your ideal pinup, or if you follow like pinup that you find inspirational, like Marilyn Monroe, if that's your style, start embodying her essence and then dressing like her, doing your makeup like her, your hair like her. And you're going to want to take photos, and your embodiment, right? So there are specific photographers that actually specialize in pinup photography, and they do this because they know the style, they know the poses and how to help you, especially if you're new. So it can really be a good way to start off and learn something as well too. And try to attend one event and then pick a pinup contest to attend if you want to attend a contest, and just do the damn thing. Literally, you can prepare all you want, guys. You can end up trapping yourself in that loop of like never being prepared enough. You just got to do the damn thing. Give yourself space and grace of this is your first time doing it. And even if it's your freaking 20th time doing it, still always give yourself space and grace when you do these events or compete in anything, guys, because you never know how you're going to show up or feel that day, or, you know, it might not be your type of vibe or know what to expect. You might be feeling off. And that is okay. We just bring the best game that we can, and we go in with no expectations. Honestly, these things are supposed to be fun, guys. I know a lot of these people do it for a business or promoting a charity or something like that. Like they take it to that serious vibe. But it's really supposed to be for fun. It's supposed to be connecting with people and sharing a passion for the era, a passion for American history, because that's part of it too. And just helping one another out, building one another up. The community in this culture is absolutely beautiful. Once you start getting photos, start building your portfolio, essentially, kind of like your personal brand. If you want to take it to that point of more of a social media presence, like I kind of have. So I've just built up a good collection of photos, and you guys get a vibe of what I am, of who I am, of like the Mystical Muse / Roxy Rose. Roxy Rose has her own vibe. She's a character in herself. And so that brings me to my next point of create your pinup character. So you can do this in the beginning if you want. Maybe that would help you. But I actually didn't really know who Roxy was until I started like diving into these things. You know, they ask you in your first show to what is your stage name. It helps create an alter ego. It can be especially challenging for somebody to step on stage like as identifying as themselves, and it's a way of protecting yourself as well too, guys, of like if you get big and you don't want people to know your real name. I didn't know really what to even choose as my stage name in the beginning, even because I was so fresh in the scene and I hadn't gotten involved highly yet in the culture. So that's why I recommend doing that first before actually like attending your first pinup competition. It just helps you know what you want to embody as an energy as a pinup, right? As what type of pinup are you? You know, what are you drawn to? You know, it will help you pick your shows as well too, because you're not going to want to do a gothic pinup show, like a spooky themed pinup show, if that's not your vibe, right? So you don't want to attend those. Once you actually know the character and your name of what you want to embody, right? You're going to actually start to create that energy. You create that vibe, and through the fashion, through how they show up on stage, how they show up at events, you're going to start developing your own unique style in that aspect. You know, when I first started my very first competition, I showed up on stage in like an A-line dress, which is very 1940s, 50s, but my hair was like the 60s. It was huge, right? So it was a little conflicting energies, but I still bring my own unique vibe as Roxy Rose, right? And they're gonna even ask you, why did you choose this pinup name? And it's really important, guys, to have meaning behind why you do what you do, anything in life, but your name essentially, because it's a vibration. It's going to help bring the essence in of what you want to create. So I highly recommend really taking time to think about your name. Just don't pick one that you think sounds cool. Really think about your vibration that you're bringing on stage. And that has to do even with the essence of the time frame that you pick to your fashion. You're creating a whole vibe. And this is, your pinup is part of your personal brand too, if you want it to be, right? Essentially, it really is. If you're going to keep doing these shows, you get known in the community, right? People know me as Roxy Rose. You know, not necessarily do they know me as Andy Johnson. People call me Roxy. So it's kind of cool that way. And you're also going to find too, guys, over time, what makes you unique. So don't freak out if at first, you don't know everything. You don't know what you want to embody. You don't know your name. You don't know the era yet. Try things out. You just need to do what feels good, guys, essentially. Don't overthink it. Just follow the feeling of the feel good, okay? My next aspect of this is once you kind of get an idea of your character, your vibe, your essence, start actually building upon that, because that's going to be your foundation. Start actually practicing the poses. Start doing the research on the fashion. Start practicing your hair. Build it up over time. And you're going to want to build up your closet over time, because guys, don't feel bad if you don't have all the clothes, because let me tell you, it can get expensive. It can get expensive. But you know what? True, authentic vintage stores, they're cheap. Okay? And thank God that's most of the fashion. You're going to start wanting to build your skills to do better in competitions and posing and modeling, if that is what you want, right? Because you can take this further. So when you pose, guys, just don't, copy what you do online. Part of the biggest thing in posing is creating an energy. It's embodying an energy. You're using your body as art, right? Art is expression. Your energy is everything in this. It's the emotion you're letting off is really what's going to connect with people. Use your body and your energy, your emotions, your expressions to create a vibe, to tell a story, right? In your photo shoots, are you a 1950s housewife making, dinner for your family? Show it. Be that woman in that photo, that people will read that. Practice them in the mirror. Get a stand-up mirror. I have one in my other room in my office, and I pose in that damn thing all the time. I also pose in my bathroom mirror. I practice facial expressions. You will find, guys, when you're on stage, on set, you will find that you will start moving your face, and there will be little, if you're very in touch with your body and very intuitive, you'll hit a pose and you'll light up. You'll be like, that's it. That's the key. That's the shot right there. You'll stop, right? If you're not familiar to that point yet, this is like muscle memory. This is where it will be. It feels right. It feels right, okay? Now, when I first started, what I thought felt right really wasn't right. I had to practice until I realized what felt right, the way it looked in the mirror. Then I had to change it to actually see what was actually right to the way it felt in my muscles and my body. And then when I hit that and I'm on set and on stage, I light up and I'm like, oh yeah, now I got it. Now this is it. And then it just elevates my energy, and I'm like that much more not really worried about my posing or like my facial expressions. And I can bring forth more of an energy to the crowd and connect with them on an energetic level. It's kind of difficult for me to explain, but when you're present and you're like looking out at the crowd and you're not worried about how you're positioned, you're posing, your dress, anything like that, you're literally like, I don't know how to explain it, but you're like emotionally, energetically connecting with them. And it feels fantastic because you feel good about yourself. You feel confident. Guys, that's that magnetism. That's that magnetism that I talk about. People literally feel it. They literally feel it. I have been approached so many times after a show that people tell me that I have that energy, that I have good energy. They love it. It's not even my look, guys. It's the energy I bring on stage, right? When I'm feeling good and confident, I literally can connect and pull in people like that. Now, does that happen every time on stage? No, sometimes shit goes wrong. But we do the best we can in the moment with what we're working with, okay? And you're not always gonna start confident, guys. You're not always going to start confident. Practice is what builds the confidence. Doing the shit before you're ready builds the confidence. I was not confident my first competition. I'm confident in myself that I know that I bring the best that I can. That's my confidence, right? And then whenever I just start feeling myself, I build and build and build. And especially when I'm on stage and I'm feeling it, I'm elevating an energy. Sometimes I have to build myself up. That's okay. So build yourself up in whichever way you can. Practice, research, try on your clothes before, all that stuff, guys. You treat it like it's like a literal sport, but I wouldn't recommend being super competitive like a sport. The last thing I want to touch on, guys, is this is where I think people go wrong with pinup, is they don't have a good approach in why they're doing it and what it's truly about. Honestly, guys, like I said, it is healing for the individual. You're drawn to it for a certain reason. A lot of people think that pinup is just about beauty, that it's about, you know, fashion or, you know, looking pretty, showing off the photos, things like that. Don't get me wrong, that's a really positive aspect of it if it makes you feel good. But the biggest thing, guys, is the community. The community literally is everything. That will create your confidence, I really feel like, more than you just focusing on you and kind of like being in your own little island. I really think that connecting with others, learning from others, building one another up, that is the most beautiful thing about this community. That is the most, I want to say, inspiring, the thing that builds my confidence, and I can help other people build their confidence. Honestly, like, you're only going to be so good by yourself if you don't connect with others, because how are people supposed to know you on a true authentic level if you don't put yourself out there, if you don't support others, right? You literally, like, if you want support, you have to give support. And it's not even just with this, it's like with anything in life, guys. It's truly about the community, making friends, building one another up, sharing similar likes, being around good people, people of similar vibrations, right? So you become who you surround yourself with. This becomes a lifestyle, guys. You become eventually the pinup, the alter ego that you created of your character. Eventually, you're going to step into that. And that's why it's so important to really analyze and really be intentional about what you create, because it will become you if you are serious about this, because you can recreate yourself and be the best version of you through this outlet. That's why I think this can help a lot of people, or a lot of women, in that aspect of it can help you make the best version of yourself. It can help build you up into that alter ego and eventually become her, right? It can help develop skills that can translate into your everyday world, charisma skills, speaking on stage, presence, grace. It's pushing you outside of your comfort zone, probably, to do things that you're uncomfortable with, which then keeps you pushing yourself outside of your comfort zone in other aspects of your life, because you're building your confidence. And it helps you meet incredible people, incredible opportunities. Guys, I've literally traveled the most in my life that I have ever traveled this year. I highly recommend it to anybody wanting to start pinup. If you guys have any questions, let me know. Like I said, I just started, essentially. I'm a baby in this, but I wanted to share with you of what I've come to analyze and myself and my journey, so then you guys can just hopefully relate, or hopefully encourage you to start. That I started basically from a very vulnerable, broken place. And if I can do it, you can do it. So, sending you all my light and love. Sat Nam.